Candidates are only allowed to make I statements, so only speak like in the first person, I this, I that, and just, don't make any generally disrespectful comments or anything like that, okay? Just stay on message, all right? So basically the way that this is going to be worked out, this is going to be a panel, so we're going to actually go in order, like descending order of the positions for candidates, so we're going to go president, vice president, and so forth, and candidates are going to answer questions in alphabetical order, all right? So we're actually going to ask our two presidential candidates to come take a seat up here now, and Prosper Dell right here. Yeah, we'll introduce him in a second. Prosper Dell is going to be monitoring the panel right here, so he'll introduce our candidates, and then we'll ask the questions, all right? We're going to be timing you guys. We'll start now.
Done.
Just one more thing, guys. We aren't going to be taking questions live from the audience. Everybody was given an opportunity to submit questions via the Google form, so just let candidates do their thing. Don't raise your hand necessarily. If we have time at the end, we might circle back, okay?
All right, can you guys just introduce yourselves?
Sure. In alphabetical order, please read the list.
Yes, in alphabetical order. So we have Salma, and then we have Sabrina.
Hi guys, my name is Salma Abdalla. Is this is this just like an introduction or?
Do your whole thing.
Oh, okay. All right. Do you mind if I get up? I'm still more comfortable getting up. Okay guys, hi, my name is Salma. I'm a second-year student. I am currently in the Honors Council as Chief of Records, WRNU radio station, Association of International Relations, and Seoul Organization Union of Leaders. I work as a liaison between them and SGA. I've also worked as an SGA Senator for 2 years. I wanted to start off by saying I'm running for president because it's something that I've been leading up to since my freshman year. I've been working within the student body and within organizations, and I have a variety of skill sets. Now, my main thing as an SGA president is to redefine SGA and what it truly means. When we talk about diversity, we always throw that word around throughout this campus, and that's really great. It keeps us comfortable. It makes us feel like we fit in, because we're the most diverse school in the country. But I'm here today to redefine diversity. Diversity to me is diversity in thought and diversity in opinion. So, like I said before, within redefining diversity, I've worked with multiple organizations around campus, and I have a lot of experience. So, I've worked with Seoul because they're the Student Organization Union of Leaders. They were specifically made due to the lack of communication and the lack of transparency from SGA to the student body. They represent 30 student organizations. That's less than minimum 20 members per organization. And that's their student leaders' voice. I also am willing to work with IFSC, the Greek chapters, and represent them because they feel very outspoken from SGA. They don't feel very spoken for at an SGA. And I'm here to change that. I was the first presidential candidate and the first senator to go up to them and ask for their support, and as well as ask to help them and to work with them. I have a large hand and a big reach into the student organization. All right.
Hey guys, so my name is Sabrina Ahmed. I am the current SGA president. I really enjoy what I do in my role, but I also have different roles throughout campus. So while I am the SGA president, I also serve in the MSA as a member of the MSA, the Muslim Student Association, within the Students for Justice in Palestine. And I work I'm actually a member of the HLSC as well, and the Honors College, so like I said, and the Bold Women's Leadership Network. So like I said, my involvement on campus is multifaceted. I am involved in several different aspects of campus life. But I think the number one thing that I want to mention is my experience within the SGA, and I've been on the SGA since my freshman year, serving as media senator my freshman year, and then sophomore year I got elected to the secretary position on the executive board. And then this year, alhamdulillah, I was going to say, because I just have it, but thank God I was elected as the president of the Student Governing Association. So within that role, we've been able to accomplish a lot. And we were able to reach out to IFSC actually throughout the semester, and we tried coordinating events with them. We also established a really good connection with Program Board. Seoul, from the beginning of the semester, we've been listening to concerns, we've been having them in on meetings, and I think taking into account the student body voices and all of that has been happening throughout the semester. And we always try to incorporate students in the decisions that we make currently, and that's not something that will change moving forward. The other thing is, throughout the semester, we've been able to completely reform the SOIS system. So the way that it was in the beginning, it's now, and that's thanks to the senators. I'm not even going to take I'm not going to take ownership of that, but I'm just saying that within the administration, we've been able to come together with Seoul and the senators and listen to what students' concerns were and change the system in order for students to benefit from it. The other thing that we've been able to do is increase funding to the food pantry, and I think that's one of the most important things that we have been able to do. Is that my time?
Yes.
Already? Wait, I didn't even get to talk about what we're going to do. Real quick.
If we have time, we'll circle back.
Oh, okay. I didn't even get like a 1 minute warning. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I think. All right, so for
Love you.
for Salma and Sabrina. So for Sabrina and Salma, what have you personally done to engage the student body in participating in SGA affairs? This question is 1 minute, by the way. You have 1 minute to respond.
Okay, so, well, like I said before, I'm very involved around campus. I have a really big reach within the student body and multiple organizations. Whenever I can, I always try to spread the word of SGA and what we truly stand for, and to help involve the student voice. And there's a lot of really marginalized organizations as well out there that feel like they're not very spoken for, and I am willing to change that. For my future plans, I believe that instead of having SGA office hours, since we have a very limited seats in SGA and a lot of vacant seats, that we should have office hours outside where we can table and we can introduce ourselves, introduce our positions, and show more information about SGA, pretty much.
So I think the biggest, is that,
So let's restart the time.
Oh, sorry, I'm so sorry.
Thank you. Yes. Okay, so Sabrina?
Okay, so I think the biggest thing is office hours, and I know someone just mentioned it, but that is something that we have been instituting from the first semester this year. And we did also give senators the option to do mobile office hours, but also I think the conversations that we have with Seoul, and I'm a strong believer in the fact that we're not necessarily going to be able to reach every single student in the student body. I think that's just outlandish, it's not gonna happen. But when we reach these student organizations who have these reaches into all these different populations of students, then we're gonna be able to reach the entire student body. So actually, from the beginning, from the formation of Seoul, we've been in contact with them, we've been hearing out concerns, and we've been responding to those concerns in the best way that we can. And disseminating information, we just bought a camera. If you guys want to look at it, it's really beautiful. We're actually trying to decide a name for it. So if anybody has any suggestions, I think it's L, the People's Camera. That's what it is, L, the People's Camera. And also having a presence on social media is really important, and getting everything up on RadarLink. So we do have our forums, everything up on RadarLink.
Sorry. Thank you. So the next question. You want to switch? Okay. So at this point, we would like to switch, and we'll have the Vice President and the Vice President.
Thank you.
So do you mind just introducing yourselves, starting with
Layla.
Yes.
And then Humza Yousaf.
Okay, so Layla, go first.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Layla Abdallah. Born in Newark and raised in East Orange, I have grown to understand what it means to take action and serve the community. I have served both communities for many years as an active and committed member of society dedicated to change. Coming into Rutgers has allowed me to have my voice heard on many injustices in this nation as well as worldwide. I have been able to speak on various platforms with administration and dedicate my free time to certain issues I believe in. I am running for SGA Vice President because I want to bridge the gaps between underrepresented groups of people on campus and organizations with the administration. The belief is that as one unit, we as a collective can come together and solve the issues that plague our society by being vigilant and empathetic to all groups of people. As a Black Colombian woman, ensuring students see people who look like them in positions of leadership helps bring unity to this campus. In order to know they are represented and their voices are heard, the student government has to reflect the student body. I also want to help unify the student body by opening up more forums in order for students to speak on issues at hand on and off campus that are affecting their lives. I believe that there is power in unity, and in order for this university to succeed in its efforts, we must continue to strive to move forward with positive action after negative acts. As Vice President, I can assure you all that I will make an impact even more than I already do at Rutgers. Last week, there was a monumental breakthrough in the groups represented at the Candlelight Vigil for the Muslim community when we as a student collective came together and spoke up for a needed change. Let's work together because the student government needs as many different voices as possible to make a change.
Thank you for that response.
All right, thank you. So my name is Humza Yousaf. I've been part of SGA since my freshman year. It was the first organization I joined as I got on campus. So with a limited time, there's just one thing I want to talk about, and that's experience and getting things done. And we see nationwide that there's people trying to tear us apart. At no other universities you see a room full of people like this. I mean, if you look around, the different ethnic groups that are represented, different cultures, different religions that are represented, there's no other university in the nation that has a community like this. And when we see with our nation politics and nationwide politics, people try to separate us, try to nitpick the things that divide us, make us not like each other. And since the first day I stepped on campus, along with SGA, I have fought hand in hand with other marginalized communities to combat this climate. Since my freshman year, the first protest that we organized was the Muslim ban protest. I don't know if you guys remember, in 2016 when Donald Trump proposed, or 2017 proposed a ban on Muslim countries. I stood hand in hand with some people in this room, with other communities in this room, with the future governor of New Jersey outside of Samuel's Plaza, calling for change, saying that this was not allowed in this nation and definitely not on our campus. Again, we stood hand in hand when things were happening in Egypt, with the Coptic Society, when they were being marginalized. We stood hand in hand with them again, hoping and praying that human lives across the world won't be endangered, and especially those communities on this campus won't ever feel endangered, won't ever feel that their student governing association and their students don't stand hand in hand with them. Last week again, we stood with New Zealand attacks and in Mali, stood hand in hand, held the candlelights, and stood with other communities who stood against those changes, against those hateful acts that are happening across the seas. And in this community, what we need now more than ever is unity. And unity comes with experience. It's one thing to talk about it, but it's one thing to stand hand in hand, year after year, semester after semester, with every community who ever has been marginalized, who stands on this campus, and to make sure that they're all welcome. And in the other few questions, I'll address what I've done in the past and before, but there's one thing that's dear to me and near to me, and that's what I want to talk about is experience and standing with our communities. Thank you.
So, Vice Presidential candidates. Shall candidates not affiliated with your ticket or platform win, rather than those candidates you run with? How will you be able to unify those sides to accomplish your goals?
Can you repeat the question?
So, if candidates that are not on your ticket eventually win, how are you going to put your differences aside and work together to accomplish more substantial goals? This time we'll go with Humza. Yes.
Okay, sure. So, experience again, right? So last year when I sat on the SGA e-board, I served with the president who's from a different party, a different ticket, so to speak. And again, we put our differences aside and work towards actual change for Student Governing Association. We work towards the betterment of our student body, because I think it takes experience and it takes maturity understanding that all of this is just temporary. As we serve on the student body, it's not something that will follow us our entire lives, but we have a given responsibility by our students to serve them for that 1 year, and to make the most of that 1 year and every day to serve, again, all student populations. And not just a certain group or certain individual or certain sect, but all student populations, the over 8,000 students that are on campus, to serve all of them. And to understand, that's what unites us. Again, it's so easy to nitpick and see what divides us and let that stand in the way. There's so much more that unites us. And when it comes to serving on the Student Governing Association, all the people I've served with, every single year have had the ultimate responsibility and knew that their responsibility was to serve the entire student body. It wasn't a group, it wasn't a certain organization, it was the entire student body. And that's what I hope to continue to do.
Time. Yeah, go.
So to backtrack a little bit, how Humza had spoke on experience. Experience is 110% needed, but action is also needed. And I believe in taking the proper action and proper measures to making a change. If he were to win vice president, I would 110% make sure to work alongside everyone else on his ticket and to make sure to continue to create the unity here. However, within 24 hours of right before the candlelight vigil, there was action taken, action that needed to be taken, an issue that needed to be addressed. There are organizations on campus that are underrepresented, and I am here to make sure that they are represented and that their voices are heard. Not only is BOSS one of the oldest organizations on campus, but they have not had a rally, have not had a protest, and I'm here to make sure that all underrepresented groups on this campus are here and heard and listened to. And that is, if he wins, you know, I will work alongside him to help continue that unity.
Thank you. Now at this point, we would like Chief of Finance to take a seat.
Oh, she had it.
So Chief of Staff.
Which chair should I sit?
Dylan. Woo!
Wait, lean more to the left.
Yeah, center yourself.
Take both mics.
So general reminder, you have to use I statements. So please abide by that rule. So Dylan, please introduce yourself.
Hi everybody, so if you don't know me already, I'm Dylan Terpstra. I'm running for Chief of Staff. I used to be on the track team here. I was a sprinter. I was the first communications director for the College Democrats, the current secretary, and the current secretary for the Rutgers Students for Justice in Palestine. So I think for Chief of Staff, it's the right position for me because I don't know, I think I would really enjoy it and I want to serve the student body somehow. So I think this is the best way to do it. I'll make sure that agendas get out promptly, senators will know what they're voting on promptly, and I can make the promise that once elected, I will send a personal email to every student organization and say, hey, if you have a problem, reach out to me directly and we can help solve this a little better. So I could do that. I have experience, you know, I'm a senator also currently on SGA. I'm proud to have drafted and passed legislation that mandates more funding for the food pantry because it's really important, and just recently helped co-draft the referendum that's going to be on the ballot for hopefully showing the students' voice and divesting from companies that support the illegal settlements that operate and support them in So that's me. Hey.
Hi, Dylan.
So what do you think SGA needs improvement on, and how will you be sure to use your position to implement such change and infrastructure? Sorry about that. Yes. Do you have any ideas on additional committees that the SGA may create, and in what way will those committees benefit the student body?
Okay, so with committees, I don't think we really need any additional committees because the ones we have are kind of, I think they're already expanded enough, and we're getting some things done with the committees, but I think we do need to develop other strategies outside of committees to engage the students more effectively, because that's this campus's #1 problem, is student involvement. And I think it's something else that's going on in Rutgers at large, because we're really at an all-time low in student involvement. As we can see now, there's only 1 ticket and some other people running. Last year there were 3. Rutgers, New Brunswick had 4 last year, and they also only have 1 this year. So something's up. It's also with student organizations. We need to get more people involved. So I think we need to develop other strategies to do this besides committees. But still continue committees, of course, the ones we have.
Thank you.
Dylan.
So at this point, we'll call Executive Secretary. Pardon me.
Najira.
Adanna. She's not here. Adanna. So just please introduce yourself, yes.
Hi everyone, my name is Najira. I'm the current secretary for SGA, and I'm also the treasurer for the Honor Student Council. As secretary, I believe it's really important to be organized and have good time management skills. And I believe that I'm a good person for this position since I'm involved in a lot of other things and I'm still able to manage everything with SGA.
So this question, what do you think SGA needs improvement on, and how will you use your position to implement change in its infrastructure?
I think we need to work on communication and being able to reach out to more people on campus. And as secretary, I believe that I can do that through emails and more like flyers, and I can send that to the student body and have them be more engaged.
Thank you.
Yes,
that's it. So next, we have the Senator, Sarah.
Yes, Sarah.
So just follow the pattern, just introduce yourself.
Okay, wait, oh yeah, well, that's loud. Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Shobut. I'm a first year at Rutgers Newark. I'm intending to major in political science with a minor in pre-law. I'm currently the SGA New Student Senator. So for those of you that don't know, basically my constituents are the freshmen and transfer students. I'm also the organizing director with the Rutgers Newark College Democrats, as well as a member of the Events Committee on Pre-Law Society. Now, as a senator, I got into SGA because I was like, you know what, let me try this out. I didn't do high school, I didn't do student council in high school, let me do this now. And when I first got in, I was like, okay, I don't know exactly what to do, but then when I sat at the table, and when I started hearing, like, as a first year, what the school is going through and what is happening, I was like, oh my God, this is unbelievable, because so many things needs to happen, and we only can do that if we take action, if we take a stance. So now I'm running to be the NCAS Senator of the School of Arts and Sciences, and even though I'm not the NCAS Senator right now, I've gotten a lot of people come up to me and they were like, you know what, we have problems going on in the school, departments are underfunded or other departments are overfunded, and for example, the econ department has only 1 or 2 computers that have a specific e-views program that they need, and as a senator, I want to be there to sit and serve the people that are going through that, also because I'm a student, I'm a NCAS student of the school, and we can only do that if we know what's going on, and the fact that people are saying everything proves that there are things that need to be changed, and the people need to be at the table, whether it's only the senators or the constituents themselves coming and saying and seeing and talking to the people in charge to be there for that change. So, woo!
The question, what issues do you believe affect the students in your academic school, and how do you think the SGA can be instrumental in dealing with that?
So, like I just mentioned, the fact that one issue that has come up a few times is the funding of programs or the funding of departments. And I want, my political science is pretty known at Rutgers Newark, but other departments are not. And I want to raise awareness for people that want to be in those programs. And SGA, for being on SGA, I could do that with not only my senators and the executive board and all the bodies of SGA, but with advertising, with working more one-on-one with students, like tabling, because we have students that are not aware of SGA, and one of the things that I know my platform will do is to raise awareness and to bridge that gap between students, and without that, then why are we here? If the students don't know what is our job, and that is the one thing that I will work every day next year to do.
Senators from the business school. We have Karima and Manar. Okay. At-large senators, Harrison and, I'm sorry if I messed up your name, Abdurahmen.
He's also not here.
And then we have the media senator.
Harrison's
Oh
here.
no, Harrison's here. The other
right
one
here.
isn't here.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Let's go, Harrison.
Testing. Awesome. Okay.
So just please introduce yourself.
Hey, so I'm Harrison. I'm also a freshman here at the Newark College of Arts and Sciences. And the reason why I'm running for senator at large is, I think, part of my overarching mission here at Rutgers Newark and for my future career. So I want to connect people to resources. That's been my big goal overall. That's why I'm pursuing public health. And it's also why I'm involved in a lot of organizations here on campus, like through Woodward Hall Council, through Health Promotion Division, through VPVA. These are issues that impact all of our students, not just like Residence Hall or like if you're at U Squared or Talbot. Like this is impacting all of our students. So I've engaged in a lot of efforts through that. In particular, so right now I'm currently planning an event with New Jersey Coalition Against Sexual Assault. We're going to be holding a listening event because interpersonal violence is an issue that impacts all students across this campus, and that's something I want to address. Another issue that I've worked on previously is health of students. Excuse me, so like I said, I'm a peer educator for Health Promotion Division. Wellness is an issue that all students face, and I actually had a full campaign during flu season, and I distributed over 100 different flu prevention packets working with Health Services Division to residents of Woodward Hall. So right now I'm only limited to Woodward Hall Council, but I do want to expand my efforts to the entire student body. Thank you.
Please name an issue that you believe affects students on this campus, and please explain how you will use your SGA position to deal with it.
So I think I've already mentioned a couple of issues that I'm focusing on right now. But when I enter SGA, one issue that I really want to highlight and bring awareness to is interpersonal violence. I know that we have the Office of Violence Prevention and Victim Awareness on campus, but I want to expand it not just as a division or as a department of the school, but also have students who are aware of it and expanding that to organizations. Because I still hear a lot of comments on campus which are very, I guess, ignorant in a way, or do not reflect awareness of these issues. And as this is an issue that impacts all students, I really want to bring that to light.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Media Senator, Ricky.
Yeah, Ricky!
Hey.
Heema.
Woo!
The dads.
So starting with Ricky, just please introduce yourself.
Sure, no problem. Hi everyone, my name is Ricky Castaneda. I'm currently a third-year student at the Newark Colleges and Arts and Sciences School, political science major and minor in sociology, and I am running to be your next media senator. Some areas that I want to focus, I'm currently serving as media senator this school year, and a lot that I've noticed is communication between the student body, student organizations, and the association itself. I feel like there's been a lot of blurred lines when it comes to the association, the student body, and student organizations, in a sense that a lot of communication sometimes goes south. It's like a game of telephone. And so I think our role as media senators, we want to help the associations, the student body, and student organizations to bridge that gap and to connect each other and work together, because we're going to be here for 4 years. We're paying tuition to be in the school. We have to work together to make to tackle issues, and one of those big issues that we have on campus is student engagement. And to increase student engagement, we have to work together. We have to increase our presence on social media. We have to increase our presence on school. We have the resources. Let's put that all together. Let's bring the student body together. Let's bring student orgs together and the association together so that we can make this campus very, very active. And I think, again, as being media senators, we can do that. We can make our social media lit. We can start recording our association meetings and put them out to the public so that they can see the type of work we do, and to inform the public, to inform student organizations what we're all about, to inform the student body what we're all about. And yeah, I think that's one of our goals as media senators. That's what we want to do to improve our relations with students.
Thank you for that response. Heema?
Hi guys. Work.
Actually,
Yeah, the other one's a lot better.
yeah, that mic is not on.
Hi, my name is Heema Patel. I am a junior here. I'm majoring in political science. And I'll be very honest with you, I didn't know what SGA was until I decided to run for it this year. And I haven't been involved that much on campus, and I really do feel bad about that now. But after going through this process of SGA, a lot of my friends really didn't know what this was either, but since I'm running for it now, since I'm talking more about it when we meet and stuff, so like they started to know what it was. And like I'm running for media senator, so I can really like promise you that there will be more like students who are eventually gonna come and they're going to run for the SGA, because a lot of my friends are showing like that support into SGA now, and a lot of them do feel like next year they should run for it and like make themselves kind of useful on this campus. And like Ricky mentioned, that we already pay tuition here, and we really need to like get together, let more people know about this, so like everything like can get better for a lot of people, and it could be like more diverse and open communications around. Yeah.
Woo!
Ricky, Senator Ricky. What strategies will you employ to make more students on campus aware of SGA present, purpose, and action? Because like most of you guys were saying that a lot of students aren't aware what SGA is and what they do. So what will you do if given the opportunity?
So each senator usually gets a set amount of money to spend. And I feel like seeing that this school year alone, a lot of our senators have not been using their money at all. And so I think what we need to do as an association is to start using our resources, because we got it. We got the resources. It's all about how effective we are with the resources. And so I feel like one way we can get the student body, get the student organizations engaged with the association is to start printing out a lot of like mini cards, literature that says, facts about us. Like, hey, this is the SGA, this is what we're all about. This is when our meetings are. Start publicly like letting them know like who the SGA is, because I think that's one area we can tackle, informing the student body who we are, what we do, and how important we are. Because like the association is very, very important when it comes to like student engagement. And if we don't have a yeah.
Thank you for that response.
Woo! Yeah, Ricky!
Heema.
Could you repeat the question?
Yes. So, how will you use your power to get students to understand what the purpose of the SGA is about? What do you guys do? So, what will you do? Let me repeat the question. I feel like I'm rumbling. What strategies will you employ to make students on campus aware of SGA present, purpose, and action?
Okay. Yeah, I got it. So like I mentioned before, like a lot of my friends did not really know what SGA was until I like spoke to them about it. But I think that the word gets around about SGA if more people on this campus will start speaking about it, then they'll know what this is. We can also, like Ricky said, make use of the resources, and also I think that I've seen like when there's desks are placed in like down in hall or anything, I really don't see SGA as much as we see other organizations placed there. So I think if we were more like, if we make it more like open, wide to people about like that this is SGA and this is what we do, I think more people would come and they would like to participate in this.
Thank you.
Just to add a quick note, we can use those TVs as well that are on Hill and heavily advertised there as well, and at Starks.
So at this point, Diversity Affairs Senator, Maggie Minas.
Sorry, should I just?
What's your name? I'm sorry.
Melanie.
Sorry, what's your last name?
Yerobi. Y-E-R-O-B-I.
So Maggie, can you please just go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi.
Let's use that as speaking.
That's fine. Hi everyone, my name is Maggie Minas. I'm a junior at Rutgers, obviously. I'm a political science major, and my two minors are journalism and legal studies. So one platform that I really want to focus on to be senator for the diversity affairs is to dream beyond borders. Dreaming beyond borders, to me and to many others, it means that as a first generation Syrian student, it means that I can do, and all of us can do, anything that we feel or that we have, that we can accomplish. So this goes back to how we are such a diverse campus, and I think this is something that we take for granted or we underestimate, because the power of a diverse campus means that we can learn off each other. We can exchange our political opinions and not so much focus on the ifs and whens or the rights and wrongs, but just express ourselves. And this comes through being a diverse student. This comes through not so much being the echo, but the voice. And something I really want to focus on is to inform the general body about multicultural affairs, issues within that, and to host more events, to have students become more active and be the voice of those communities, of those organizations that are kind of more on the more less informed side. Personally, I feel that if I was elected, I will faithfully perform the duties that the Senator of Diversity Affairs has, and I feel that as a more unified and as a more diverse campus, we can accomplish way more than we think is possible.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Melanie Yerobi. I'm a junior. My major is political science with a minor in legal studies. I have been trying to get into the SGA since last semester. I'm a transfer student. Ever since I have been in high school, I have always been involved in this kind of organizations. So I got to the point when I thought that it was time to make a comeback. So why diversity affairs? More than anything, I think that I have the background for it, and you should follow where your heart is. What's your passion? The platform that I would focus on, it's creating a safe space for all of us so that we can express our opinions. Something that I will never forget. I have only been in the US for 2 short years, so I have faced a lot of racism. I'm gonna be honest and straightforward with it. And something that I will never forget when I just got here is that ideas do not have a language. Ideas have actions, things that you do. You don't really need to speak the same language to have the same purpose. So that would be like my main goal for this. Thank you.
So the question is, in what ways do you think Rutgers Newark can improve can improve its approach to diversity, and how do you think the SGA can be instrumental in achieving that?
Okay, so personally, as a Syrian first-generation student, I wanted to get into SGA to inform and to kind of be the voice of minorities, ethnicities, religions, gender. I feel as if though, for example, this week it was Arab Culture Week, and I feel more events like that need to be more prevalent in Rutgers. I feel like as a diverse community, if we don't hold events that kind of inform the general body of all different kind of ethnicities, not just focused on one, but focused on all, you know, I feel like that would be something that we could definitely focus on. Hosting events for, you know, country's Independence Day or something so important to some groups of minorities that could be something that's advertised for all, something that we should all be informed about. I feel like that's something that we could definitely work on.
So just to piggyback on what my co-senator over here said, I think this is something that we could work like shoulder to shoulder with the media senators as well. I feel like there are already a lot of events going on in school, but we don't really know about it. That would be one of our main purposes. I think that more than creating events, I think what we should do is emphasize the ones that we already have. Like, we are one of the most diverse universities, if not the one. So I would say that more than anything, we should like emphasize the diversity that we already have in each classroom and in each event. So that would be.
Thank you.
And the more events we have, the more we learn off each other. That's the most important goal.
Thank you. Student Affairs, Senator Kevin. So can we just introduce yourself?
So, this is Kevin Titus. I'm in the business school, supply chain major, legal studies minor. I want to be a voice for the people. I want to be a voice for everyone on campus, a democratic voice in the SGA. There's what I hear from the people I talk to, and the reason I'm running. This is my first time with SGA. A friend recommended it in my fraternity, Delta Sigma Pi. There's a lot of fear on our campus, fear of what's happening outside our campus and in campus, you know, about classes, stress with class, who we are as individuals. Universities are supposed to be places of thought, and I want to be an objective leader that makes sure that the clubs we have and the opportunities we have allow students to have that voice and to try and solve the problems in our world. We need an objective voice. I'll be that.
Thank you. What specific plan do you have to improve the experience of undergraduate students' organization on campus?
The specific plan I have is that as a student government association student affairs senator, I need to be aware. My title is students, so I need to talk with students. I need to talk with students, see what every student wants, and make sure that the clubs that exist and make sure that the organizations that are there, the opportunities that are there, truly reflect what the students want. This is mostly a commuter school, let's be honest. This is a commuter school, people coming back and forth. I feel like we need to make sure that the events are catering to their lifestyles and we give them the chance, because opportunity is very important. One of my favorite movies is Pursuit of Happiness. It's about opportunity. We need to make sure that's there for our students, and I'll definitely make sure that happens.
Thank you. Last but certainly not the least, Community Outreach Senator, Kirolos Wahba.
Good afternoon, everyone. I don't want to take up too much of your time. To introduce myself, my name is Kirolos Wahba. I'm running for Community Outreach Senator once again. Just like to describe, I have experience as one of the candidates already mentioned. It's important to have experience. I have that 1 year experience as a Community Outreach Senator, and it's important to embrace two ethics, I think, that are really important to me, and that's diversity and humanity. I'm proud to say I'm part of the administration last year that passed the referendum for boycotting certain companies that aid in like settlements in Palestine and do inhumane atrocities to all Palestinians. I think it's important to embrace our diversity. It's not just enough to say we're diverse and brag about it without any action. I was the person who was able to bring hands together between different organizations to, for example, come together for a vigil. After what happened in New Zealand, I was able to, for example, speak on behalf of Coptic Society and have them come and co-sponsor an event in remembrance of the innocent victims who died just for following their faith. And if you look at our ticket, it's a diverse ticket. There are people of different ethnic backgrounds, religious backgrounds, and this was back and forth even when Coptic Christians died for their faith. I remember some of the candidates running on our voice, coming to our assistance and consolidating the Coptic students here at Rutgers. So I think if we're not gonna build upon this diversity, there's no point in bragging about it. So I think I will be that senator that will bring all organizations together and embrace our differences through unity. Thank you.
What new types of community outreach programs would you like to see implemented by the SGA in the upcoming year?
Through this position, community outreach, an example of this is reaching out to organizations, for example, to help society at large, not just Rutgers. So, for example, asking certain organizations to have events, every member bring in, for example, a can, and donating that to the food pantry, and this helps the needy and the poor here in Newark. And this is something that we have been doing recently, this past administration, and I plan on doing this again next year with more organizations, more cans. I know Coptic Society alone did gather together way over 300 cans, and this goes out to the community here in Newark. And I know MSA brought in a similar number. So if I am elected, I will reach out to even more organizations, and this helps us look good, and it helps Newark community as a total. So hopefully we will be doing that next year.
Thank you very much. At this point, we'll call the chair to come back and give the closing remarks, if there's any.
All right, thanks guys. So we're gonna wrap it up there. We do have more time. We're gonna do something, but it looks like the majority of the candidates have already left. So we're just gonna wrap it up there. I just wanna remind everyone that the ballots to vote open up on April 8th, and they're gonna stay open until April 9th. So there's gonna be 2 full days, 48 hours of voting. All registered undergraduate students have the right and ability to vote. It's gonna be through RadarLink, so you can find it on there. I just want to remind everyone that if you don't have a personal device, whether it's a phone, laptop, whatever it may be, you can use the school's resources, whether it's a computer lab, library, whatever. But we will also have polling stations on Student Street on the 2 days of voting, and those times and locations are going to come out in the coming days. All right. So thank you everyone for attending. Thank you to the amazing candidates for everything you said, and good luck to everyone.